well, that's out of focus. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. As always, feel free to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell so you know when I'm posting, and please comment just so I know like what you guys think, if there's anything I can work on, if there's any content that you guys want to see. Always feel free to comment down below because that's what I'm here for, is to be putting out content that's actually enjoyable for people to watch. So today I'm going to be talking about To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han, and I really enjoyed this book. And if you'd like to know more, keep on watching. I loved this book. This book is love. I loved this book. So without doing any spoilers, if anybody hasn't seen like the Netflix show or read the book, I'm gonna go ahead and give my rating, which was like a 7 out of 10. I loved it so much. I thought it was so good. I rated the Netflix movie probably like an 8 out of 10. I just a little bit better, just a little bit. I definitely thought that they cut out some of the things that I was okay with them cutting out. And just the overall essence of the book was very similar to the Netflix movie, which is what I was hoping for, was just to get that same like breath of fresh air, and I definitely got it. All right, my beautiful people. So, spoilers are now initiated. Countdown to spoilers. So there were a lot of things I loved about this book. I loved the way that the author used like baking and talking about like food and Korean food to like pace the story and keep the story like having a certain theme without. I thought that it was beautiful and I really thoroughly enjoyed that, and I just thought it was just like a breath of fresh air. It's kind of what you want to read like on a rainy day when it's cold outside and you've got a blanket. Like, this is the book that you want to read because it's happy and it's got a sweet tone, and there's not too much drama, but there's a little bit to keep your interest piqued. I just thought it was fantastic. I haven't read anything else by Jenny Han. I've never read The Summer I Turned Pretty, which was a lot more popular in my friend group. But it seemed like once that book came out and I knew people were reading it, I was already like on to other things. And so I never got to circle back and read more by Jenny Han. But if this is the way she writes, I might have to circle back and start The Summer I Turned Pretty. I don't know. We'll see. So the main protagonist's name is Laura Jean, and it talks about the 5 letters that she's written to the boys she's had a major crush on. And through a series of unfortunate events, they all got mailed out to the men. And so now she's having to kind of play catch up, and all of these boys have been blindsided with her love for them, and chaos ensues. It gets particularly difficult because one of the boys that she has loved before is none other than her sister's boyfriend, Josh. And now she has to figure out some way to confuse Josh in order to like save face with her sister, so her and her sister don't get into any kind of issues. And so that is like the basis of the plot line. Her sister Margot is going off to college in Scotland, and at that time she actually breaks up with Josh, and so now you've got this free boy just walking around, and Laura Jean has to like make sure that he knows that they are not going to be together because of her sister. Now, I said I love this book, and I love this book, but I did not like 2 of the main characters, well, secondary characters. I didn't like Margot. I didn't like Josh. I didn't like either of them. I thought Margot was not a very good sister. I liked her in the movies because in the movie she was a lot more compassionate and a lot more thoughtful and stuff, and I was definitely lacking that in the books. I just thought Margot was just kind of annoying and kind of mean, and I understood that she was like taking care of everything since their mom died, and so she had a lot of like things to think about and stuff like that, but I just didn't care. I felt like she was a good sister to Kitty, but I didn't think she was that great of a sister to Laura Jean, because what girl, if you are friends with a boy in 9th grade, best friends, they come over every day, what girl does not develop some sort of crush? Now, I'm not saying every girl does, but I'm saying most girls out there, if they're seeing a boy every single day in the 9th grade, right when those feelings start to come up, like she didn't even ask her sister like, hey, I like Josh and he said that he likes me. Could this be a thing? Would you be fine with it? Like, none of that came out. It was just like, well, I'm dating Josh. And let's not talk about Josh. Actually, let's talk about Josh. Of course, it's not Margot's fault that Josh likes her. Can't do much about that. But Josh even says that he liked Lara Jean, and then he still went on to date her sister. Like, if you like a girl, you don't just go on and date her sister and then circle back to her once the older sister broke up with you. Especially because he had talked about how he was scared that because him and Margot had slept together, that's why she had ran away. Like, no, you don't then move on to her younger sister and basically say, like, we need to hammer this out. I think I have feelings for you. Like, I'm sorry, dude. You've had your chance. You needs to go. And did he ever go? I liked Peter Kavinsky. I liked him a lot. I thought he was really cute in the books, and I just thought he was a good kid. Like, I thought Josh was a little creepy. I can't explain how much I did not like Josh. Or Kitty. Kitty got on my nerves too. I liked her a little bit more, and I was more sympathetic for Kitty than I think I was for Margot. But I still thought Kitty could have been nicer. I just really loved Lara Jean, and this is the first time that I've ever had a main character that I have loved, because usually I get very annoyed with the girls. Well, speaking of annoying, there was one thing about Lara Jean that bothered me, which was the miscommunication thing. Now, obviously, Josh was not supposed to be the main love interest, and so that's why the miscommunication was a lot more tolerable for me. But I do hate she just can't talk to him, because she just can't talk to him. Like, she could have easily said, like, it was a long time ago, we're never going to be together, you dated my sister, I did like you, and just gotten all that into the air, and then he could have said, like, either I'm sorry or what do you want from me? But that never happened because of the way that she handled it, and I did not love that the way it was handled, except for the fact that it ended up with Laura and Peter Kay, and I loved that, like, pairing. I thought that they were so cute together, and like I said, I thought Peter was just a great guy. Like, he was upstanding, he was nice, he was dating that weird girl Genevieve, but I mean, you can't blame him, I guess. I don't know. He never pretended like he liked Lara Jean first and then he dated Genevieve. I like that about him, unlike Josh, who was like, no, I like Lara Jean first. And then Lara Jean's like, well, why didn't you tell me? And then he's like, I don't know, your sister was hot. What are you gonna do with that? Nothing. You can't do anything with that. Those are my thoughts on those things. All in all, I would say to read this book if you're going through a bit of a reading slump. It's a beautiful contemporary piece that's going to get you right out of it and get you back into books. Usually my route is romance, but this time I'm like, well, it's a good mix. It's got a little bit of love interest, it's got a little bit of contemporary, and the main character was half Asian, which I love that. Specifically, she's half Korean, which I really enjoyed reading from a different racial viewpoint than my own. And it just, like, it's not just the everyday typical contemporary book, and so that's what I really appreciated about it. I could tell that it was different, and I felt like it was when I was reading it. So I encourage people to get out there and start reading this book. Okay, so now to my favorite part. Read this book if you like contemporaries. If you don't like contemporaries, if you enjoy like a little sprinkling of love, read this book. If you want something that talks about a close relationship with a mother and a sisterly bond, read this book. If you just really are feeling that kind of, I need something to climb me out of this reading hole that I've dug myself into. Do not read this book if you want something that is like super high romance, because it's not that. It's got some romance in it, but it's definitely a contemporary novel. Do not read this book if you hate cooking. Do not read this book if you hate, I don't know, boys, because there's a couple of them in there. And don't read this book if you really love cars and driving, because that's something that Lara Jean does not love. As always, again, feel free to give this video a thumbs up and comment down below. I hope you guys are having a beautiful day, and thank you so much for watching.